When it comes to COVID-19, we are seeing an improvement in our community, but we still have a long way to go. And joining us right now to talk a little bit more about that is Mayor Ron Nirenberg. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. I want to begin by asking you about some of these indicators that we've been watching closely. My understanding is things like our doubling rate and our decline in cases are seeing an improvement, but where are we in terms of our positivity rate right now?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Isis. And yeah, everything seems to be improving, just not very quickly, which is the nature of this outbreak that we've seen. So our positivity rate, which is probably the most important indicator to express the widespread severity of this, is about 11%. Last week it was roughly 12.5%, so it's dropped a little bit. We do want to see that positivity rate be down below 5%, though. For things to really start opening up and for schools to go back to in-person schooling.
And Mayor, I want to follow up on that. In your daily briefing today, we were breaking down the demographics, and one of the numbers that was not moving in the right direction was cases among pediatric or kids. We're seeing those double, as well as the hospitalization. As we get closer to September 8th, are we looking like we're going to be able to have kids back in class?
You know, it's hard to say, because the positivity rate, again, is one of the most important indicators. And when we see the school indicator on the website, it's heavily weighted towards the positivity rate. The positivity rate, of course, being the proportion of tests that come back positive. And that will show how widespread the infections are occurring. So we've got to continue to work hard to bring this infection under control. But it's really too soon to tell at this point where we will be in 2 weeks. I'm hoping that we'll be there, but we've all got to, we've got to do the work, which is, again, physical distancing, wearing a mask, and staying away from large crowds.
And Mr. Mayor, last week you mentioned the new model would be coming out this week. Where are we in terms of seeing that?
Yeah, I'm asking every day. They're going through the data right now, and so this is being done in partnership with the agencies that comb through the data on a larger scale. The SG2 model, which showed last time that we were following the trend, and again, a prolonged peak, plateauing, and then dropping off of right about now, we're following that. So the new model should be ready probably the end of the week, and we'll present it to you. And what it will show, we are told, is that we're continuing to follow that trend. So it is showing us declining, but it'll project outward to late September and kind of give us a predictive model of where where we should be as we get into the school opening into the fall season.
All right. San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg joining us tonight for our questions and answers.
And we're going to ask you to stick around for one more commercial break if we can, Mr. Mayor. We have a few more questions. If you could just stand by. We'll be right back with Mayor Nirenberg. We're back with Mayor Ron Nirenberg with our KSAT Q&A. And Mr. Mayor, we talked about this a little bit last week, and I think it's worth repeating. You know, San Antonio is doing relatively well in terms of improving, but that's not necessarily the case in other Texas cities. With the upcoming Labor Day holiday, what is your message for the public?
Be especially careful. The transmission rate in different cities is at different levels, and we have seen in some of the hot spots, especially the coastal communities and the border cities, have much higher positivity rates than we had seen elsewhere, really at any point in this pandemic. So be extra careful. If someone is not part of your household, make sure you keep distance. Absolutely wear a mask when you leave your home. And make sure you're practicing good hygiene. Stay away from large crowds. This is not, this is not the time to be gallivanting with large crowds. I can tell you that, especially outside of San Antonio, and we just don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Mayor, finally, we've seen students go back to colleges across the United States already. No social distancing. They've been partying. They've already shut down some schools after just a week. What is your message to college-age students here as they get ready to head back to class locally?
Same thing applies. Our community is dependent on everyone working together to control this virus. We've seen a few things happen here that were just absolutely horrible. And we want to make sure that businesses that you enjoy patronizing are able to open up and flourish again. And that means that we all have to do our part. No one is immune to this virus. Those who suffer from it can end up severely ill or pass away from it. And it's happening to all ages. And we don't know, even if you didn't come down with a severe form of that illness, what the long-lasting effects are. So let's just do our part. We're very close to getting this back under control. Let's not screw it up.
All right, Mayor Ron Nirenberg, thank you so much for your time. We'll be right back.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.